Hey, it's Dan McDonald here, the artist formerly known as Life Regenerator on YouTube. And since YouTube took down all of my videos, I have to remake a video here for my phone consulting clients so that I can guide them over to Facebook, where I'll pin this at the top. This is the 90-day heal all protocol utilizing the Puridyne herbal products, okay? So it's very, very simple. And it's very, very good for you. If you need a detoxification, if you need to lose weight, if you need to heal your gut, here's the thing that you need to know about Puridyne, is if you have any problems with your gut, and if you're a human being living on planet Earth, and you haven't been eating raw food your whole life, then you do have issues with your gut. Then you need to realize that the Puridyne is specifically designed to help you heal and regenerate the gut. Because when you have absorption and utilization and elimination, then everything doesn't get backed up. Your stomach stays flat and your tissues stay healthy. So it's very, very easy to do, actually. You've got the cleanse is where you start. That is an herbal product that actually helps to dissolve the biofilms, and it expands. So there's some mucilaginous herbs in there that soften up hardened deposits. And at the same time, there's some psyllium husk and hibiscus that actually expands and pulls all that junk out with it. And it helps you to have really nice bowel movements. Now the directions are like 2 or 3 capsules or something like that. I never follow directions. I use my own intuitive experience. So what I do is I recommend at least 8 of the cleanse capsules to start. Well, actually, to start, what you want to do, if you're like a super beginner, then you do take the 2 or 3. But if you've been in the game a while and you've done some detoxes and you use herbs and you had colonics and you eat salads and you eat some fruit here and there and your gut is in okay shape, then you can jump straight to the 8. If you use 8 and you find that it's okay and it's working out okay for you and you're not having any major discomfort or anything, then you can actually go up and do what I call a super sweep, which is what I do every great once in a while, maybe once a week, every other week, or every 3rd week even. If I feel like I've gotten a little congested or whatever, I'll actually take 2 or 3 tablespoons. So here's one thing to know. 8 of the cleanse caps is 1 tablespoon. This is the powder. You get more for your money with the powder, but then you have to taste it and knock it back. It's fine for me. It goes great with grapefruit juice. It goes great with apple juice. The best is grapefruit, in my opinion. My daughter and I did a little test, and we tested all these juices with the cleanse, and we found that the grapefruit just kind of had this nice synergistic. It doesn't matter. Apple, grape, orange, mandarin, any juice is fine. The fruit ones actually work better. And it's not bad. It's like 5 out of 10. It's not the greatest thing in the world, and it's not the worst. The peppermint makes it pretty good, and you can actually kind of learn to enjoy it. If it does something good for your body, your intuition in your body will be like, this is good. And it'll start to kind of like it. I wouldn't say it would start to crave it, but it understands what it's doing. And you take it, and it's a pleasant sensation because intuitively your body gets used to using it to keep your bowels clean and clear. So the daily recommendation on the 90-day protocol is 8 cleanse caps or a tablespoon of the cleanse powder. But you can have some really powerful bowel movements if you use 2 or 3 tablespoons. If you're more seasoned and you've been in the game for a while, I can take 2, 3, 4. Sometimes, and the next day I'll have a really great bowel movement. Herbs are very, very useful. So on the daily protocol, 8 caps or 1 tablespoon with a morning juice. So what you're doing is you're getting hydrated and you're getting mineralized, and what you're doing with these living tonics is you're actually getting hydration into the cells, and you're creating a cell permeability where the cells can finally start dumping that radiation, a lot of the chemicals in the environment. They get trapped in the tissues, and the cooked food is always dehydrating the tissues. The cooked food pulls water out of your cells and then they just don't function as well. But if you're drinking these juices, you're gonna start hydrating the tissues and you're gonna start detoxifying. And the tissues over time, not in a day, not in a week, but over the weeks and the months and especially the years. And you start to drink these juices and you do protocols like this, you start to hydrate, your tissues get more quality, the cellulite starts to go away, your gut starts to absorb better, but it takes time and it takes patience and it takes consistency, okay? So 8 caps or 1 tablespoon and some kind of green juice. I like a lemon ginger blast to start the day, but it doesn't matter what kind of juice, whatever you've got, whatever you can afford, carrot, apple, ginger, it doesn't matter, some fresh organic juice, okay? Next is some other kind of fresh juice, 32 ounces I recommend, and then you take 8 of the Purazyme, which starts to really help also to soften up the biofilms in the gastrointestinal tract where all of the microbes are hiding out. There's this little system, I don't need to explain too much, but at the bottom of the biofilm, closer to the GI tract wall, they go into a dormant state and they just sit there really down low and they're just waiting. They're not, doing much. They're just in a hibernation mode. But as these clouds start to build like little castles off the wall, they just build up, and as they get higher and higher and further away from the wall of the GI tract, they begin to become more active. They eat the food that's taken, whatever it is, junk food, candy, sugar, meat, cheese, all the different kinds of foods have different microbial balances. And then those microbes that become habitual start to develop those biofilms. And then if you want to change your diet to something cleaner, you've got to get rid of those biofilms because they're going to continue to send, quorum sensing into your tissues and create cravings for those kinds of foods that they feed off and keep them alive. So you're trying to get back to like pristine baby tissue in your gut to where you're eating like avocados and bananas and smashed peas, you know what I'm saying? Like gentle food. The humans that go off and then it gets more spicier, more complicated, more deep fried. And then their gut is just an absolute mess. So we're using the enzymes to break up all the wax and the film and the mucus and the sludge and the slime. And this also acts as a blood thinner. The juices act as a blood thinner and a blood purifier. The enzymes act as a blood thinner and a purifier. And then the herbal blood actually creates a situation where the microbes that are dysbiotic get uncomfortable. These herbs in here, it destroys bacteria, fungus, and yeast, which is very prolific in humanity right now because of the food mixtures that we have and all of the various types of fake. Everything's fake, everything's fried, everything's cooked, everything's mixed. And it's not simple plain foods like this mango, because this mango has just water, sugar, glucose, and sucrose for your brain, and cellulose, and it leaves behind no residual layers. This mango leaves behind no residual layers. Very teeny tiny microscopic amount of metabolic residues that are feeding the biofilms, leaving mucus behind so that that mucus wall gets thicker and thicker, the biofilms get thicker and thicker and stronger, because if you eat a cheeseburger, that's a lot of metabolic residues. Cheese, meat, and bread all together really don't digest well at all. If you want to eat protein, eat it by itself. If you want to eat starch, eat it by itself. If you want to eat fats, eat it by itself. If you want to eat fruits, eat it by itself. These simple mono meals, then at least you don't have the food combination sludge and slimes, but it's really like a thin layer. The meat leaves behind a little thin layer of this sort of grease, and over time it builds up, and that leads to putrefaction. The carbohydrates end up leading to rancidification, where you just get fermentation and you get gassy, bloated, kind of gassy fermentation of the putrefaction of starchy products, okay? And the fats go rancid. You get rancid fats because they oxidize inside of you, and then your gallbladder gets all clogged up, but that's from the fake vegetable fats, low qualities. If you want to eat like real fats, like these avocados, you know what I'm saying? That's a real water-soluble fat, but as soon as you cook it, You take these short chain, medium chain fats that are water soluble that, you know, are able to be, you know, moved through the body to absorb, utilize, and eliminate the energy from it. But as soon as you cook it, you create these long chain bonds, and then they just leave these sticky little layers behind, and then you have no absorption. You're constantly eating and you're always hungry. So what you're doing is you're breaking up the biofilms and you're killing the viruses and the bacteria and the fungus that are living inside your gut to get those out of there. So you take 8 of these with another 32 ounces of juice, okay? That's step 2. Number 3, if you really want to be a liquidarian, is you take another juice and you take the probiotics with that. If you feel like you want to have a meal, so beginner is, for the beginner, you have juice, salad. And this is a very small salad, but it was just an example I wanted to show you as a prop. But you take a bunch of salad, you fill a bowl, like about like this, a big giant bowl full of fresh greens and herbs and avocados, a little olive oil, some lemon, whatever you like, sea salt, a little cayenne, sprouts, tomatoes, cucumbers. The list goes on and on. If you want to get some recipes, it's actually available right now on my website, regenerateyourlife.org. There's like 300 recipes in here, and you can get some great dressings and stuff. But a nice raw living foods type salad is way better than all these cooked artificial foods that people are eating that are making them unwell. So the final step is just to take, 12 or 20, they're much smaller, of these Pure Life probiotics, okay? And that helps to re-inoculate and support the beneficial microorganisms in the gastrointestinal tract. So all of this leads to the, transformation of the gut, the regeneration. That's what Puridyne is. It's the gut regeneration company. And all these foods have enzymes and prebiotics and probiotics, and you just change the composition of the terrain. And when you get this terrain really cleaned up, your brain gets better, your heart gets better, your energy gets better, your utilization gets better, your elimination gets better, and you can start to laser in on really simple foods instead of having all these intense cravings and stuff like that where you're like sweating and stuff because you get addicted to the food because it has the chemicals in it and it's got all the textures, and you slowly work your way off because those little microbes that have been living inside your gut, it is not easy to do like parasite cleanses and to get your gut right to where you don't have a lot of intense cravings. Everybody wants to have some good, nourishing, energizing food to get through the day, but we have gone way over the edge. And we are so clogged up, backed up, and constipated that I'm glad that we have something like Puridyne to utilize to clean out our gut, to regenerate our gut, which then regenerates the brain. Then you can start seeing more clearly, making better decisions, having more faith. And when your gut is better and your brain is better, your heart is better. And that's the most important thing. It's just to be in love with yourself, to be in love with life, and to have good health, okay? Because the heart is a really big resonator of energy. So, and if you want to do level 2, you do another juice at the end of the day, okay? And if you want to drink more juice, go ahead. You can drink up to like 8 ounces of juice a day, or 8 jars of juice a day. Usually when I do this, I'm fine with 3 or 4, but I'm a thin little guy and I'm not a huge athlete like I used to be. I have plenty of energy, but there are days, some days, every once in a while, I will drink up to 8, but usually I get away with 3 or 4 quarts of juice if I'm on a liquid diet, which I've been for years, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll have a salad occasionally at night or a couple of pieces of fruit. Juice is for the advanced, or a juice fast utilizing the Puridyne, or juice salad, okay? And a nice big fat salad if you want, if you're just starting out. But you'll see that during the day, if you drink juice and take your Puridyne, you'll have way more energy. You might even be able to get off the coffee. You might even start to find a naturopath to help you titrate off all the drugs you're on. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're trying to get back to health where you can do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it, to get to a really good state of health where the gut's working, the absorption, the utilization, and you just got a good life. And that's what I hope for you. There's a link down below on this page. It's Puridyne, my great friends, my family, Phil, Lou, Dave, amazing people. super high vibrational company, and that's very, very important. They don't water this crap down. This is highly concentrated nutritional supplementation for an insane modern world where people are just literally dropping like flies, like literally. And you can keep your blood clean, keep your gut clear, and thin your blood out so that you don't have all the strokes and the heart attacks and sudden adult death syndrome. Never would have thought we had that. We understood SIDS, you know, sudden infant death syndrome. That was one thing. That was microcapillary occlusion. And here we are as adults experiencing microcapillary occlusion in the brain and in all the blood vessels, and people are just falling right over. So don't be one of those people that falls right over. Live your life. Get your gut cleaned out. Get all that crap cleaned out of you. All the mistakes you've made in the past, whatever they were, whatever regrets you got, forgive yourself and move on. But get on point with the highest vibrational liquids, raw foods, the best supplementation you can find or afford, and get outside in the sun, get your sleep, and live a good life, because you deserve to be healthy and happy. Can you dig it? Thank you very much. DTM out.